We utilize water second only to oxygen as a nutrient in the body. It is the universal solvent. It delivers and supports the cellular physiology of minerals, glucose, peptides, and of course excretion of biological waste. And so we find it to be the prime foundational nutrient, and it's often overlooked as a nutrient. Like, well, how much water do you drink? And how often do you eat in a day? In today's society, many people overeat because their hypothalamus is telling them they're thirsty and they think they're hungry. So they eat something with salt and sugar in it, which makes them more dehydrated and strains their body system to retain water, because above all, the body will retain its fluids in order to maintain our physiology and follow the code of preserve life above all. And when we recycle the dirty water and keep recycling it and then minimize excretion, and so we see people become constipated, they have decreased urinary frequency, they don't sweat. These are all signs of dehydration. Your body's conserving water because it needs to maintain about 72 to 74% body water in order to sustain life. And as I said earlier, if the biological imperative is preserve life, then while it would much rather have clean, vital, endless supply of water, the biological mechanisms of survival will conserve, recycle, and reutilize water while shutting down other systems of excretion. So in the main, most people that are having a challenge with a disease state or trauma or a chronic disease have one or all of the following signs and symptoms. They have chronic constipation. Okay, instead of their bowels moving at least once a day, and better 2 to 3 times a day, they may only have bowel function 2 to 3 times a week, sometimes once a week. They stop sweating or don't sweat near as profusely as they used to under the same amount of exercise. Their urinary frequency and urgency may increase, but the volume of urine excreted is more concentrated and less volume. And so one of the things that I do in the beginning of almost every case is retrain the hypothalamus to ask for water. It's very simple. We have our clients rehydrate 4 ounces of water every hour that they're awake for 3 days. It's a very simple process. You set, since almost everyone on the planet now has their own personal communication device, aka some sort of a cell phone, and you set their alarm for 1 hour. When they wake up, if they're done doing their morning absolutions, etc., brushing their teeth, whatever they do, you drink 4 ounces of water and you set your phone to go off in an hour. And when it goes off in an hour, you drink another 4 ounces of water. And you do that until you're ready to go to bed at night. And you do that for 3 days. And at the end of 72 hours of stimulating your brain with small doses of water, let's say you're awake for 12 hours, okay? That's only 48 ounces of water. That's a quart and a pint. Or if you're anywhere else in the world but the United States, it's a liter. So a liter of water a day for 3 days isn't really a hard thing to ask somebody to do. So we rehydrate. we restore function to what regulates our thirst mechanisms and our water intake. It will help to restore many other functions of the hypothalamic tract. But when it comes to water, this is what we do. And since that is my opportunity to introduce something to the body that will increase vitality and function, this is the point where we introduce the system and our clients to double helix water or stable water clusters, because I actually take a bottle, sometimes 2 bottles of the double helix water, give them a gallon jug of distilled water, mix it right in my office for them, show them how to utilize it, give them the first 4 ounces and say, you're going to drink this over the next 5 days. We're going to start with water. And that's how the journey begins for almost every patient that comes to see me.